said I can't take it anymore, not anymore. No one said that this would be easy. No one said this wouldn't be hard. Brush it off and roll up your sleeves now. It's a shot in the dark till you get what you want.
I figured we would just say hi before we actually
Yeah. I'm Rob. You can see who I root for. So.
All right, welcome back to episode 2 of Spiked, college football podcast by millennials for millennials. We don't want any boomer. No, we want everybody because we want money and ads. But shake us up before you open the can and pop open a fucking crisp cold take from me, Johnny B at PSG, Rob the lawyer who's drinking already. It's not even 10 o'clock on a fucking Sunday, Rob, Catholic boy, and JC from Outback Buck Shack. Joining us today is a very special guest. You hear his music, well, unless they take it down again, which they have, but I think we got that solved. You hear his music at the beginning of our podcast. It is the one and only Mr. Jonathan Waxman, a.k.a. John Moodie. He'll be joining us today. He is one of mine and JC's high school chums. You like that word? Chums. Played football. He's a musician. Played soccer. And we want him on the podcast because he brings a little Big Ten flair to the SEC, ACC, and JC-liking weird-ass teams. So let's get it started, boys.
So, hot take. Wake Forest fucking screwed me. I'm the only one whose lock of the week didn't pan out because 45-42, NC State showed up, fucked me over, but I'm not even as mad about it, I think, as JC because he actually watched the game. So
JC went off. JC went off on the group text.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because you got Sam Hartman, who is actually a solid quarterback.
Told you, stud. Heisman winner 2 years.
And watching 2 games, the dropped passes coming from his receivers are crushing them. He's hitting them in the hands, and they're just not making plays. And Johnny B, you tried to, okay, so some of them are young. I don't care. I don't care. Listen, you can make an excuse for maybe you didn't know the route scheme the way you ought to against the defense you were facing. Maybe you didn't read it correctly. You weren't really on the same page. But if a ball hits you in the hands, you catch it. Receiver, that is your job. And if the quarterback puts it there, even if you didn't know what the route was, if somehow he still hit you in the hands, that's your fault. So, Sam Hartman, man, I'm sorry. 11-21, you didn't throw an interception. 11-21 does not show. And it
happened listen, I said last week against Clemson, I said, this fucking kid is a stud. And all his receivers did was drop balls. And I was like, oh, they'll make it up against NC State. It was Clemson. Maybe they were no.
Last week, hit a guy in stride on the run. He had the defender beat by like 5 yards. And it went right through his hands. It was a touchdown. You got to make that play. Have to.
I didn't even see the game. Well, I didn't even see the game. I just saw your text go, what the fuck was that on 3rd and 7? And I just like, you're losing it, man.
Rob, speaking of losing it,
mm-hmm.
How was your drunken Miami football game last night that you were wasted for?
If anybody followed me on Twitter, they'd see the 100+ tweets that I threw out when I was live tweeting the game.
It was unbelievable. I've never had so many mentions after work. I just saw Rob's like the level-headed one. He's our producer and does all that. Just going drunken rant style about the Miami Hurricanes game, and it was fantastic.
Listen.
Johnny, if you would have followed him on Twitter, you would have been laughing your ass off all night. He's a big Miami fan, and Miami had the big win last night. He was just drinking whiskey and drunk tweeting.
Sometimes that happens, man. That happened yesterday with Manchester United for me, and I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, but for the wrong reasons, though. Or actually, I guess the right reasons. Because if you don't like Manchester United, you like losing 3-1 to Crystal Palace. But I was trying to keep up with our fucking offense. There was literally a tweet at one point where the official Canes Twitter was like, they're going too fast for us to keep up. Like, That was the tweet. And I was like, well, I'm going to fucking try and to my best ability while also being pretty hammered. And my top three, like most proud moments of tweeting in a drunken rage was calling out Al Blades and saying, keep throwing at him, see what happens. And he got the first pick of the night, first turnover of the year. So I called that an hour before it happened.
He did. That is actually time-stamped.
It is time-stamped, though it's hard to fucking tell on Twitter. It just says 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours. Anyway, the second one I called out was De'Ara King saying, dude, don't try to run the ball when they got 8 in the box. He fucking floats. I mean, Johnny couldn't believe. Kid was open by 20 yards. 20. Like, full on.
JC's son could have thrown that ball. JC's son could have thrown that ball. How do you get that open?
So, but that was because they had 8 in the box and he fucking read it. I literally was like audible that shit, and he did, and it was beautiful. And then the last part was just responding to Kirk Herbstreit all night. Every time he said anything, I'm just like, Herbie, nah, don't do it. Not that he's going to respond back, but I don't care. It felt good to instantly respond. I like it. I'm going to do it again. That's going to be my thing probably once a week. Even if we lose, probably when we lose, it's going to get worse, not better. So keep an eye on it.
I mean, all right, so my hot take, Rob had his Miami, JC had his receivers. Johnny, what was your hot take from college football yesterday?
My hot take? I didn't see any college football yesterday. I'm one of those guys that it's tough for me to watch unless my team's playing.
But his big hot take is Penn State's back.
That's right. Penn State's back.
Yeah.
We're talking to Parsons, trying to get him to stop or reverse his opting out for the season. You get him back in there, that linebacker core is strong. One of the strongest offensive lines in college football. We got a shot.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that Big Ten East is tough. The West is a cupcake, but the Big Ten East is pretty. Actually, me and Rob are looking at the lines. We have no idea who's going to win the Big Ten West. I think Minnesota is great, and maybe Nebraska actually steps up. But I don't know. Penn State, if they beat Ohio State, I think that's the biggest game of the Big Ten slate. Actually,
it is. That's the second week. That's going to be the test. And we got that at home at least. We got to play in Michigan this year. That'll be tough.
That's a tough game. I mean, even though Michigan is Michigan, it's still hard to play there.
It's always hard to play guys.
I guess Johnny's hot take would be, I mean, Notre Dame. Come on, guys. 52-0. Not a big deal. I mean, not really. I mean, that's all right. My team blew out a team. I don't know if you guys saw that, but my team blew out a team.
All right, hold on. We were running through the tape on this. You said Notre Dame by 30, and then you bet against them and said they couldn't even cover a 24-point spread.
I like to hedge my bets so that either I win money or I'm right about my teams, because I like to be right. But I also like my teams to win. So, yeah, if I lose, 5 units on a game, but I get to brag and come on the show and talk shit, it's worth it. Because I had 2 losses yesterday. Should have been 5-2. I know, whatever. I conceded the Notre Dame loss. It's fine. I had 2 fucking losses by half points. Okay? Half points. So that's fucking bullshit, and I'm not counting that against my record. I refuse. Because I technically had the right bet. That was the right bet. Half points are fucking bullshit, and I should know better than to bet on them. But I digress.
All right. So at this point, we're going to talk about something that I know nothing about, and that is being a kicker for a football team, being a really good kicker, getting scholarship offers, all that shit. No. So I don't know anything about that.
I miss field goals on Madden, so.
So I think by
give it to the experts.
This is a cool segment.
Yeah, I've got 2 experts here.
You, Rob, because your Miami guy just hit a 57-yarder last night. So.
And had the greatest tattoos a kicker ever had.
I definitely was at full mast when he nailed. 57. It was straight as arm, like he nailed it. And then they're like, that would have been good from 60 pounds. I'm like, yeah, it would have. Fuck yes.
So let's drop it to the 2 kickers. Johnny and JC are both kickers at our high school, and one of them, JC was a fantastic kicker. He went to school for a receiver, but Johnny actually went to school to be a kicker. So go ahead, guys. Take away the kicking game. Tell us a little bit about they are a skill position. If you would ask Pat McAfee, that is a skill position, and I'm going to shut up and let them talk about it.
Yeah, let's start with Waxman because he paved the way, really. Our high school, Tri-Valley football, it used to be like power football style, and then we kind of got into a little more finesse. And really, John, you were the first one to really be a true kicker. And in a sense of not just like, okay, yeah, we got a guy who can kick an extra point for us, but a guy who could actually put points on the board, at range. So why don't you just kind of talk about that year that you decided to put on some pads and give it a whirl?
Yeah, I didn't even know that we were allowed to play 2 sports at a time when you were a senior. So I was playing soccer, and then I was actually doing homework with a couple friends, and Alan Coombe, actually, I was doing homework with him and somebody else, and he said, we've never had a kicker. Yeah, I'm doing some guy was doing an article about how there was no kickers in our division, and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. So I went down with my dad the next day to the field and started fooling around. I was like, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this. Let me go try out, see if they want me on the team. And that's how it started. It was like halfway through the season.
Yeah, because at that point, wasn't Alan our kicker, Jay? And then we had like a 300-pound kicker.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he was our kicker, right?
He might have been. I know. We had such a strange go with kickers, and even actually after Waxman, after you left, we had another lineman kicker before I stepped into the position. So, kind of compare notes. I wasn't planning to be a kicker either, and one day we were in practice, and the kicker we had, I think we were back to about 35 yards or so, and he was just all over the place. He couldn't hit nothing. So I was like, screw it, I'll give it a try. And I ripped my first field goal from 35, and coach was just kind of like, yeah, I think we can make this work.
It'll work. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly I didn't give any thought to doing this in college at all until we went for the championship game at Deed Stadium. And before that, we were warming up, and I was just kind of seeing how far back I could go, and I hit one from 47, and then I remember our coach coming up to me the week after and was like, hey, did you ever give any thought to doing this in college? So I said, I could send some emails for you. I said, yeah, please go ahead.
Once it's amazing, like kickers, everybody kind of takes it for granted, but it's like a golf swing. Once you figure it out and you get that stroke, it's just amazing to watch how you can just kind of keep adding on and adding on. And similar to a golf swing, you see a kicker miss, and you're like, how the hell did he miss that? Well, it's like maybe just that slight foot angle that he didn't get. I mean, it's amazing how minute those little details can be.
Yeah, just something as simple as just the timing's off just a hair of a second on the hold, or he started moving before, he normally does before the snap. And there's so many tiny little things that can go wrong. And it's, just like you said, most people don't really get that part of the game when they're just watching it casually.
Yeah, just last night, Tulsa freshman kicker, he missed like a 20-yarder to keep the game. It would have tied the game with Oklahoma State. And it was just like, holy crap, how do you miss a 20-yarder? But, I mean, look, it's how it goes sometimes, And then you look at a guy on the opposing side, it's 57 yards for Miami. It's like, wow, man, everything was right. So I guess while we're on it, I don't recall, what was your longest? What in a game?
That's what she said.
What?
In a game, I only kicked 3 field goal chances in a game. That was all at that in the Section 9 championship game. I think I hit one from 23, one from 25 or 27, and I missed at 37, just like a yard short in the second half. I just didn't have enough on that one that day. I tell you what, I almost put the cleats, started to lace the cleats back up after watching the Titans last week. So
I was telling Rod that you were texting me. That was pretty funny. Now, Jay, what was your – I mean, I don't know if you know this, Johnny, because you graduated a year before us. But you guys did start a tradition of winning on homecoming, and we kept it going because Mr. Connolly here I mean, the best football game we've ever played, the funnest I've ever had. Me and him played every snap of that game. We were the most tired we've ever been, and we partied our asses off after.
Nice.
That's important. Up at Shady Brook, everybody knows that. But before that, I mean, it was overtime against Sullivan West in the fucking snow. Like, it was like a script. It's fucking wet. It started snowing. It was ridiculous. And Mr. Connolly here fucking booms one from, what was it, 29?
So I ended up hitting 2 that game.
I'm talking about the one that went for the overtime.
Yeah, the one that took us into overtime.
That was awesome.
It was in the wind.
The wind, in the snow, to go to overtime against Sullivan West, to fuck them.
But I mean, that was one of those ones where, like, we were talking about how everything can go right. And I mean, I boomed this kick. And I was like, I hit it, and I started walking off the field. And everybody's looking at me like, oh, my God. Like, I don't – and I'm like, what? I was like, I smoked it. It was like a 32 or something like that, but I smoked it. And they're like, it bounced off the crossbar.
I watched the fucking thing. I was playing. I was in my right tackle position, and he kicked it. I heard it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my God, is he gonna go? Is he gonna go? Is he gonna? It went, doink, and then over. I'm like, oh my God. Yep. It was crazy. It was like a movie. But yeah, he didn't even fucking know.
Wow.
But it's funny. So a couple little comments on like what we've been talking about, how the kicking game in our division really changed. So that game, kicking won the game for us, and even the opposing coach said we didn't have an answer for it. They had a kicker who could like kind of kick a little bit, but they had an opportunity where there would have been maybe like a 25-yard field goal, and they couldn't do it. So it's like, you have opportunities in games where that really makes a difference. And the only thing I'll say kind of to give it back to Waxman, because I think maybe he'll add on to that. So in high school, we got to kick off of the block, right? And here's the thing. So in high school, I could kick, and I kicked a number of field goals, and it was a great opportunity for us. But I couldn't kick in college. I could not make that transition to kicking off the surface. It just didn't work out for me. But I think maybe Waxman, maybe for you, you can comment on it. Maybe your soccer background helped you out a little bit, or.
Yeah, absolutely. The soccer background helped me out, and the first day that I went down after that homework session, I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. I went down in the field with my dad, and I didn't have access to the block. I didn't even know that we used that.
I honestly didn't know until JC just said that right now.
Yeah.
And I played high school football my whole life.
I didn't know we kicked off of a field goal and extra point, so I was just kicking right off the ground. So when I went to that, it almost kind of felt like cheating. It's just you're able to get your foot so much under the ball, you can just smack that thing as far as you want it. But the summer after I graduated high school, I fell and I didn't tear it, but I really screwed up my hip flexor. And so that took a couple months of rehab. And when I got into college, it still wasn't the same. Like you were saying, JC, going back to the golf swing kind of a thing. You pick up a little injury on your arm, and you're doing it again. You're just not quite getting it the same way you were, and not really whacking it as much as you were. And I never really kind of recovered from that. But yeah, absolutely, kicking off the ground. Such a crazier transition from kicking off the block. It's a lot easier kicking off the block, that's for sure.
Indeed.
So I have a question for you, both of you guys, because my high school didn't have a kicker either. We kind of had our moment when we were juniors, and we had a guy who was like our outside linebacker, and he was just like, yeah, I'll go kick. And we won, like we were down 2. And he had to kick, like it was more than 30 yards for sure. And we didn't even kick extra points half the time. Like most of the time we just go for 2 because we didn't have a kicker. And we had to go for, it was like less than 5 seconds in the game. And coach is like, all right, go out there and kick it. And we had like I went to a Catholic school, but literally the clouds broke and the sunlight shined down on this guy and he nailed it. And I'll always remember the coach before he kicked it going, when he makes this, we are rushing the field. And I was like, okay, how do you even know he can fucking kick the ball? And he nailed it. And so we lost our minds because they were like the number 7 ranked school in the state at that point and our rivals, and we fucking ruined their year, and it was beautiful. I mean, forevermore, I will always hate Fairfield Prep, but it was so good to fuck them up that year. But the next year, we went and found a guy who was a soccer player, similar, like went out, and we went from, we had kickoffs to out of the back of the end zone. Every kickoff out of the back of the end zone. Dude never had to kick a field goal our entire season because that season we were state champs. We ran over everybody. So we never had to force him into a high pressure field goal kicking, but just by having that field position every single time, they were backed up. And if they made one mistake and they got a sack or a tackle for a loss, all of a sudden they're inside their own end zone trying to scramble to get out. And we would get the ball at midfield and just stomp them, So for you guys, did you have a lot of success kicking off, and did that make a big difference for you, especially in a division where you didn't have any kickers on either team? Was that a big deal for you guys as well, where just the field position alone, having that leg where the other team didn't, was that a weapon?
For me, when I played, I didn't do the kickoffs. We still had our buddy Allen, the bigger guy who was playing running back, fullback.
He was like feast or famine with a kickoff. It was either kicking it literally through the back of the end zone by 50 yards or 10 yards. He fucking missed it, and it was like an onside kick.
The guy had a leg. He had a leg like a cannon, and so it just made sense for him to do the kickoffs over me. So I never really had much experience doing that. It's something I had to learn going into college. I had to really work on that.
Jay, did you do the kickoffs for us? I don't remember. I had concussions.
No, I was just gonna say, funny thing, I didn't do the kickoffs either, and
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Bo Murphy did our kickoffs.
Oh yes, that makes total sense now.
He could, accuracy didn't matter, but he could boom it, right? So he just wind that big old leg and his weight all behind it and just smoke it, because it's like, all right, as long as it just stays within the sidelines, we can make this work. And then the other factor is Bo Murphy and Allen are both big guys, so they weren't like a traditional kicker. They just run down the field and make the tackle anyway.
Yeah, they're just extra tacklers.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Great thing to have on the field, yeah.
Yeah. Our freshman year, our star running back was also our kicker. And so I swear to God, he one time kicked it really high in the air on purpose and got under it. He didn't catch it he caught it on the bounce. But like as freshmen, a bunch of 14-year-olds, he kicked it in the air and went and got it himself because he knew where it was going and he was faster than everybody else on the fucking field. So it was.
That's kind of a dick move, but I appreciate that.
Oh, we fucking loved it. It was unfair. It was unfair to have him on our team from freshman through senior year. I remember as a sophomore, he only got to play special teams and he got a kickoff, first time touching the ball as a varsity player, and he ran it back for a touchdown. Like, just dude was unreal. Played for the Lions for a few years, actually. So in Connecticut, that's a huge deal to have anybody go into the NFL directly from, not directly, but through high school. And he played at Iowa, actually, for a few years as a defensive back. But yeah, just straight up athlete. Just
never heard of Iowa.
It's in that division with all the scholar athletes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yes, that's right. It's what are the two in the Big Ten? It's leaders and legends, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Dumbest fucking. I went to Illinois for law school. Dumbest fucking conference name. And you're called the Big Ten, and there are 12 teams. Like, just just can't handle it. Anyway,
just be the Midwest Conference and stop.
Exactly. Take the Midwest. Just take it. Well, one more hot take, since we're talking about conferences that don't make any fucking sense. The Big 12, who we ragged on all last week, showed up and showed us why we are the best new college football podcast.
Yeah, Johnny, I don't know if you listened, but I did call this. I said the Big 12 is the 8th best conference, and the Sun Belt should be moved up, and the AAC should be moved up, because the Big 12 is fucking trash. How do you almost lose to Tulsa at home? Tulsa.
Yeah.
I could go play quarterback for them right now. John, he could be fucking running back for them right now. JC could be starting receiver, and Rob could be the other fucking receiver, and we'd probably win 3 games. Because I don't know. What is going on in the Big 12?
I don't know.
They should just cancel their season. Just claim Corona. Just seriously, just let Oklahoma play and the rest of the conference claim Corona. How do you almost lose to Tulsa? You lose by two touchdowns to Coastal Carolina. You lose to 2 touchdowns to Louisiana. And who was the other team?
Who beat them? Wasn't it Georgia State? Did they win?
It was another Sun Belt team. I forgot who it was. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, people? Why even play?
Sun Belt Fun, baby.
Sun Belt Fun Belt, baby. That's my new conference. Listen. I'm without my boys. I'm without my Maction. You know, I love my Tuesday night Maction football in November. It's the greatest time of the year. It's better than Christmas. It's Maction. No, I am on Sun Belt, Fun Belt, all day. Make a T-shirt. Give me them. Give me the Sun Belt.
I can't claim it. I heard Sun Belt, Fun Belt.
Oh, I'm stealing that completely from Barstool. Don't give a shit. Give me the T-shirt.
They'll have it. That's the best part. You ask, they'll make it.
No, if they already have it, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, of course they do. I think that's when I started my drunken rant, was when I saw Oklahoma State losing 7-3 to Tulsa in the third quarter, end of the third quarter. And I was just like, okay, no. I was supposed to wait until the Miami game to start I had been drinking up until that point. I was like, no, I'll wait for the Miami game. I'll wait for the hype. It's no big deal. No, immediately. And I tag both of you guys. I'm like, I can't believe how bad this team looks right now. They're celebrating breaking up a pass in the end zone, like dancing, literally. Like, they're having celebrations on defense because they stopped Tulsa from scoring a touchdown from the 2-yard line. Tulsa. And like the people in the stands are freaking out, and and I'm like, how are you excited? Act like you've been here before. It's Tulsa. And they got screwed. Tulsa got screwed. They missed the field goal, but before that, they had a touchdown call back because of some sort of like illegal formation or some shit. I don't know. The refs went out of their way to make sure that Oklahoma State did not get upset by Tulsa. And
Desmond Howard has Oklahoma State in his fucking Final Four and winning and going to the finals. So.
That was Desmond, right?
Let's not go the way of the college football playoffs right now, because I just heard this morning somebody talking about Cincinnati making a run, and it pissed me off.
Oh, save that for later because they're going to lose this week.
Well,
that's my lock of the week this week.
How the hell all of a sudden Cincinnati, you're going to start talking about UCF?
Well, I mean, they beat a really good Austin Peay team who's 0-3.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'll save it.
All right.
I heard Cincinnati outside of a basketball conversation. I didn't even know they had a football team until you guys just started talking about it.
You're not wrong. You are not. Well, they're top 25 though, because the Big Ten hasn't entered the conversation yet. Hasn't entered the chat, so to speak.
Yeah, Johnny's coming in because the Big Ten has entered the chat just now.
Pretty much. But we're doing something else right now, right? So a little more up. John's,
we're gonna have a little fun right now. The Heisman draft last week was awesome. I won it, of course. Now that Fields is coming back, and I have Trevor Lawrence, Fields, Costello. I mean, come on, guys, just give me the trophy. And Kellen Mond, give me the trophy. I won the draft last week, hands down. I'm the winner.
I still blame JC for taking fucking Sam Ehlinger with the first overall pick instead of Trevor Lawrence.
Thank you for that.
Because otherwise you would have ended up with 4 prospects. Instead, you would have only had, 2.5, because at that point, Justin Fields wasn't even playing football. So I stand by it.
Sleeper pick. Anyway, we're going to do our daily drafting segment. We're going to have a little fun. So, John, before we do this, let's talk about John a little bit. So he was a kicker. Now John's a musician. And you hear his song in the beginning, and it's fucking fantastic. But since he's a music guy, we figured, let's do a music draft. We don't want to do like a regular, we want to make it football worthy. So we're going to do our college football fight song draft. And obviously we're going to let Johnny go first. Rob has the music queued up. And so this is going to be our draft. It's good. The draft order, I think, is – Rob, what was the draft order? It was Johnny, you, me, JC?
Yeah, so John and John, and then JC and me, just to mix it up, because last week JC had the first overall. And I was last, but I like going last. I love, because we do Serpentine, I love having back-to-back picks. This is my favorite thing.
You could just say snake. You don't have to be so snooty.
All right, so that's me. I get the first pick.
Yep.
Johnny gets the first pick.
First pick
The
for me,
first pick.
hands down, greatest anthem in college football, greatest fight song, Army. It's
Yeah.
Army.
Yeah. Yep.
Mikey Stadium, the cadets in the stands.
That was my pick.
There's no other great place to watch a football game. It's one of the best places to watch a football game in the world.
You're right. During the fall, like where JC is right now, that's what Army looks like.
That's true. West Point makes sense to me. But so I think, JC, that was also we discussed this beforehand, figuring out who got to pick when because everyone wanted Army.
Everybody
so crucial first overall pick. Let's see if I can play it.
And JC being in the Army.
Yeah, I got the whole thing synced up. All right. Anyway.
Nice pick there, Waxman.
Yes.
I guess it's my pick. I think I'm gonna go. I mean, I kind of remember my picks. You know how I get.
You think?
My first pick, because they're my team, and I'm gonna go Homer. Come on, the most classic song when you think football and it's October and there's touchdown Jesus and they're gonna beat Michigan, but then they're gonna lose to fucking some shit school from fucking like Indiana, or they're gonna lose to fucking Georgia Tech. But you gotta go with Notre Dame's victory song. You have to. And if you ever played NCAA, come on, it's the best song out.
It's a good song. As a Miami fan.
Cheers, oh Notre Dame. Come on, how do you not? Come on, everybody's Irish when that comes on.
Well, and Johnny, it was about time you went with the Homer pick because JC and I did that last week for our Heisman draft. And you were making fun of us. You were making fun of us, so.
Hey, I want an Army, but Johnny took it, and you know what? I can't blame him because right now that's like selecting Joe Montana. Like, you don't have a better pick.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, there's no other better pick.
Sorry, JC.
Army is the greatest fight song ever.
That's true. Well, JC, it is up to you, my friend.
Oh, is that what it is? I got all the ones in the background now. Great. I have Texas A&M.
Why?
What? Why not?
Explanation.
Well, so it's actually kind of, if you look at Texas A&M and their pageantry, their pregame, then their fight song specifically calls out Texas football, and it's a great in-state rivalry. Now,
12th man.
The SEC, it's kind of one of those slightly lost old traditions, but it's still a great fight song, and I love the fact that they call out a competitor.
I mean, it's not Notre Dame, but,
I can see the lyrics. They're literally like, so long to Texas University, goodbye to the orange and white. Like, they're literally, those are the first words.
That song is the little brother is the little brother trying to punch up at the big brother.
The little brother, their fight song almost entirely is about Texas.
Really?
That's awesome. I did not know that. So there you go. Because again, JC, you had a different choice, and then it's like you were like, nope, I'm switching it up, and I'm going with this. And I was like, why? There was no explanation. You're just like, I've chosen differently. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
All right,
well,
Rob.
I
got double pick.
I get my back-to-backs, but my first one, as much as actually, my first two picks were supposed to be Big 12 schools, which is amazing because I spent all day yesterday ragging on the Big 12. So I'm going to pick one Big 12 school, and I'm just going to say one word, Boomer.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, the stupid.
You don't want to. You sure you don't want to pick Miami and just play a Pitbull song?
It starts with Mr. 305.
Is it Mr. 305?
That's why I don't have Miami, because we didn't get the licensing from Pitbull to play one of his songs. So.
So Boomer Sooner, Rob's pick, and what was your second pick?
So my second pick was actually going to be more of a basketball song because I really like the Kansas fight song. But for football, this is not the place for that. We're talking college football. I don't think we're even going to hear the Kansas fight song this year because I don't even know if they're going to score, but
I don't think they are.
I don't think they are. So I am going to call an audible, pun intended, and switch.
That's a good football word.
And music word. Anyway, I'm going to
Omaha.
switch it to one of my homer picks, but I did go to a couple different schools, so not Miami because I don't have Mr. 305's blessing, but I'm going to go with Illinois instead. So according to what I read, because I've never heard the words of this song, apparently Illinois calls out three different schools. Seriously, they call out Wisconsin, they call out, I think, Princeton for some fucking reason, and then I don't even know if it's a school. I think they talk about Teddy Roosevelt and how Teddy Roosevelt's cool, but our song is cooler. I don't know. It's very Illinois. It's very stupid. It's...
remember that. Rob just canceled Chicago. Rob just canceled Chicago.
We're not in Chicago.
Yeah, but you just canceled Illinois, which people forget that Chicago's not a state. It's like New York. It's like New York City is not a state. Chicago is not its own state. It is in Illinois, in fact.
It is. It is. But everything, for those of you who've hung out in Illinois, everyone thinks if you live in the Chicagoland area, anything outside of that is Southern Illinois, and it's like.
It's the exact opposite. Johnny can attest. It's the exact opposite. If you live in New York City, everything else is like Canada.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
New York City, Long Island, and upstate.
All right,
Exactly
Jay,
right.
you're what's your next pick?
Back to me. All right. So I'm going to make a pick, and it's actually a team that I really just can't stand. But they have a great fight song. And I'll say again, I really can't stand this team. And
He's really reiterating it.
so many things that I could think of that just irritate me about this team. But again, man, great fight song. So I got to go with USC.
I fucking hate USC, but you're right. Their fight song is.
That team you love to hate.
You know what? This is going to be a topic for another day, but I'm going to cue it up here, and then we'll save it. USC quarterbacks are the most overrated.
No, don't get me. No. You want to set me off on a Sunday? No. Be going on Darnold. Don't get me going on. No, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Nope.
Just make a pick.
Oh God, it's so good. No, here. Think of happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Happy
Johnny.
thoughts.
What?
Happy
It's your
thoughts,
pick.
because I'm a rambling wreck of Georgia Tech, and I'm a hell of an engineer. A hell of an engineer. What a song! If you've never heard this song, they're the hell of an engineer. They're literally bragging about how they're smarter than everybody else in the country.
I'm a big fan of this one.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
The
it.
lyrics are fantastic. They're literally stating, we're smarter than all of you. We're probably going to lose the game, but you're going to work for us. Wow, what a concept. They're the Harvard of the
They
South.
sucked yesterday.
They didn't look good.
Right, JC?
Hey.
Yeah, who do they play? I don't.
So some team called UCF that nobody seems to really give a shit about.
Oh, here we go.
Salty. It's all good. So, all right. John, it is your turn. You had to wait the whole time, but you were back.
Pick number 2, again, as JC was saying, this is a team I'm not necessarily a big fan of. There was a number of years ago where there was a rule change where on the kickoff, as soon as the kicker's foot hit the ball, the time started, and there was about like 20 seconds left in the half, and Wisconsin were playing Penn State, and they did like 3 kicks in a row just right out of bounds and took the penalty for a re-kick every
I
time.
remember that.
And ran out the rest of the game, and it made me so pissed off. But their fight song's iconic, on Wisconsin.
All right.
I do remember that moment, too.
Awful. Such terrible sportsmanship.
Sure.
This is another one that's always on. Yep.
It's classic.
It is classic. That's true. Well, but you have one more now. So this is the last round.
Well, always got to bring it back home. It's all about, if it's fall, it's all about Nittany Lion football. Penn State. Come on, fight on, State.
Happy Valley.
Happy Valley.
Yeah, I can listen to that all fall.
I mean, there's nothing like a whiteout hearing that. I mean, if you've never been, it's kind of wild. I've been to a lot of college football stadiums, and it's kind of fucking wild. There's 107,000 just whiteout. It's just crazy. All right, well, I guess it's my turn for the last one. Just like this, I would call this the whiteout of the South, because if you've ever been here when this played, I mean, granted, it's all orange, but good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Come on. I mean, the most singable song in a fight song. I mean, 107,000 drunk Tennesseans. Come on, who wouldn't be all about that life?
Not me, but then again, I don't root for the Titans like two of you.
Yeah, well, that's my new team, so you get it. Because of USC. We're not going to get into that.
All right, JC, you've got one more pick. What would you like?
So since Army was taken, I'm a little
Still bitter.
bit, but I got to show some love to a service academy. I think we got to, right? But there's no way in hell I'm going with Navy.
Not that shitty Navy. No, not that shit team from Annapolis.
So I'm going to go ahead and take the little brother of the Army and go with the Air Force Academy.
A classic song in general. Just
Oh, that's right. That is a good pick, Jay. That's like a Russell Wilson third round pick. That's like getting Russell Wilson in the third round.
Yep.
Sure. All right, my last pick, my I guess Mr. Irrelevant of the draft. I have a school that very few people even care about, know about, not like UCF, which, people say they don't care about, that nobody actually cares about.
You're not picking Pepperdine, are you?
No, but I'm pretty sure that would just be like, what is it, Barbie Girl? I don't know. Like, they're in Malibu, right?
It'll be a theme song to Clueless.
Yeah, yes, there you go. No, I'm picking a school that actually is a rival of the school that JC just picked, but is very near and dear to my heart because my parents met while going to this school.
Oh, that's right. I do remember, yeah.
And I played NCAA football for decades just using this school and trying to build them up from obscurity to some sort of relevance. So I heard this fight song hours in a row because you just got your fight song played over and over in NCAA. So the Colorado State Rams literally set it up so that they talk about whoever they're playing and they say we're going to basically fuck up their line today. So not bad.
It sounds suspiciously like the Notre Dame fight song.
That sounds just like Notre Dame fight song. Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
Brings right in there. You might want to have some people look into that.
You're trying to, yeah. Do they have the rights for that?
They threw in an extra bass beat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Queen and Vanilla Ice. Yeah, that's how it works.
Wildly different.
I literally thought you just played the Notre Dame song. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought you were fucking with me.
It is super close. However, it's not like Georgia and Colorado who literally use the same song.
They literally do. We actually researched this. Georgia and Colorado have the exact same song.
And it's Battle Hymn of the Republic.
And
so
it's about the North.
Is playing the literal fight song of the Union Army.
One wasn't a state, and one was like as Confederate could be.
Well,
And they're
Colorado
playing
does their own thing up there. The air's different. it's up there in the altitude. They just let them do their own thing over there.
Which we do.
How does the state of Georgia play a Union song?
It's amazing. It's so good. But Colorado, yeah, we do what we want. Nobody seems to care, which is why we can get away with not playing Notre Dame's fight song.
If this was on YouTube, they'd get flagged.
If they uploaded the fight song, yes, they would get flagged. That's right.
Well, the reason that we did this draft was because all four of us were all fans. I mean, we're not big gamers. Rob's a little bit bigger of a gamer than anybody. But NCAA football brought people together. I mean, everybody picked their obscure team. I used to play with Army and Georgia Tech just to run my triple option. I know Johnny said he used to play with Army. I think Jay probably played with Army too, or Texas. He loved Texas back then. And Rob used to use obscure, like he still plays the game.
Colorado State.
Like if I had it, I would still play. But NCAA football lets you hear all the songs of all the great teams. And it was fantastic. That was one of the best parts of the game.
Absolutely.
But the best part about this, what's that?
Oh, sorry. So they need to start paying these players so we can get another one of these games.
Yeah, I know exactly. I'm just glad that none of you guys picked Michigan because that is the most overrated song ever. What is it? Hail the Victors? Fuck you. You don't win. You can't have a song called Hail the Victors if you don't win. You can't. And that stupid Ohio State song, I'm sure it's bad. I don't listen to it because who dots an I? Oh, my God, we know how to spell Ohio. Really? Really? Oh, wow. We can put a dot. Really? That's what they do.
Johnny, you're going to trigger me because my freshman roommate at Miami, the team that got robbed by Ohio State in the national championship game, my freshman roommate would play, because he was from Ohio, he'd play the Ohio State fight song the entire month leading up to the Michigan-Ohio State game. And I fucking hate both those schools now because of that. I don't even care. Like, I went to an ACC Big East school. I didn't care. I don't care about those schools, but I do now. And then I went to Illinois, and now I definitely hate both those schools. So it's just
we could just make a decree right now. Fuck Ohio State. I'm pretty sure. Because he's a great player. I'm not an idiot, but I'm pretty sure that we can all agree with they're the trash that no one likes. They're the Alabama of the North.
Yeah, there you go. Or the USC of the Midwest.
We're not talking about that. What are we doing? I just said we're not talking about that. What are we doing here? You want me to go off?
Johnny, what are we doing here now? Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
You want me to go? I go off.
No.
Let's again. What does that make Michigan? That's my question. So if they're the Alabama of the North, Ohio State, what does that make Michigan? Since we also don't like them.
Well, this will lead into a next segment. They're the Missouri.
Yeah, but they were actually good at one point. So I would say Penn State and Georgia are the same team.
Penn State and Georgia, yeah. But what about Michigan? Yeah. What is Michigan?
I'm saying
Florida.
No, Michigan's Missouri. Michigan's Missouri.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I hate Florida, so.
They were there. They had it going. It seemed like, oh, maybe this is it.
I can say that. I think Wisconsin, South Carolina.
Well, what happened with Michigan? They just fell off.
Well, yeah. I mean,
John, do you like that Penn State, Georgia? I think Penn State and Georgia are very cohesive.
I think that's pretty close, I guess. Yeah.
Like they're always at the top, but they can't quite break the. But they also have great passes.
Isn't that where Noshawn went? Was he a Bulldog?
Yeah.
Bulldog.
Noshawn Moreno, throwback running back.
Yeah, I'm like, did you just say Noshawn?
my roommate in college freshman year, he won New Jersey state championship with Middletown South. And
Middletown South, yeah.
He was He was the senior quarterback, and Noshawn was a junior. He was the starting running back.
He probably beat the crap out of people. That dude ran hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Sean. I remember watching
know.
him on that stupid channel, Jay. What was that? MSG. MSG used to do the high school highlights. No, Sean looked like a man.
Yeah, that wasn't fair.
I'm going to ask you guys a trivia question now, and we'll do our picks, and then you come back and give me an answer.
We get trivia.
I've got a trivia question for you guys.
I win.
So,
do I have a lifeline?
you can ask a friend. Any of these other folks right
Can
here.
my friend be Google?
No, but also I don't know. I tried Googling this because it showed
so
up.
There's no answer.
No. So it showed up during the Miami game. So I know exactly what the answer is. Thank you, Aflac, for that. I know we're not supposed to talk about sponsors until they sponsor us, but
what are you doing, bro? No free ads. We're throwing Johnny in here because he's our boy. So we're going to talk up his music, but we're not giving free ads to anybody else. Take that that Miami helmet down right now. Or my Blue Life hat, I guess. That's an ad.
And whatever JC's got on his hat, yeah.
That's why I don't wear a shirt so people can't see the tag. Duh.
Anyway, so I know what the answer is, but in order for me to actually figure it out, I had to go specifically search for it. So I don't think this is something that you could even get help with, even if you're surreptitiously on your phone fucking around instead of doing your pick of the week. So
I wouldn't do that.
Ever. So here's the question. The question is, what is the largest deficit, like difference in score?
We know what a deficit means, Ron. Just because not all of us went to fucking law school doesn't mean we don't know what deficit is. Just because JC was a fucking grunt and John's a musician, I'm a fucking bartender, doesn't mean that we don't know what deficit is.
I'm trying to be specific, asshole. No. Sorry. What it was the score in the biggest blowout, basically, between two schools ranked in the top 3 of the AP poll? In fact,
what's the biggest blowout? By how many?
So okay. So I'll tell you that the biggest blowout was 48-0. Number 1 in the AP polls over number 2 in the AP polls. So who were the 2 schools and who won?
Oh, I know this.
So think about it, but you have to tell me. And this was during the regular season. They played each other.
Can we work with each other? Because I have to ask a question.
I got the answer.
I think I do too. James, who did USF lose to?
What?
When USF was ranked number 2, didn't they lose to like West Virginia or something?
Now, hold on. There's a hint in the question. This question came up during a Miami game.
Yes, it did.
Okay. I could have swore USF lost by a shit ton of points. But you might be right.
Let's make our picks so I can come around and win trivia too.
You ain't fucking winning trivia.
Get us started, JC. What is your pick of the lock of the century?
If you take my lock, I'm gonna kill you.
I kind of feel a little backhanded a little bit because, you know, when you were talking about the pick of the week, the not so obvious ones, and you were like, "Oh, Alabama's playing this week," and I was gonna. My lock of the week was Alabama over Missouri, and there's
that's a tough pick.
And I'm gonna explain myself a little bit. Yes, it's a pretty obvious pick, but I'm actually a Missouri fan too. I like a lot of football.
I told you.
My family is from Missouri. I've been to bowl games with Missouri. I'm a big Missouri fan. They came into the SEC, and they were dominant at first. They looked fantastic. And then some things happened at the school, and they just went to shit. And I am really tired of Missouri football sucking, and I'd like to see them come back. So I don't know if they're going to watch this or anybody's going to see it, but Missouri, get your shit together. All right? JC from Spiked is calling you out on your bullshit. You guys can recruit. You have the potential. Get it together and start winning football games again. But it's not going to be this week.
JC's pulling a me. He's hedging his bet and he's learning. And I fucking love it. Because guess what? If Missouri loses, he looks smart. But if Missouri wins, he's fucking happy that they win. See, this is what gamblers do, Jay. This is very, very good. I'm very proud. That's
Jesus.
smart.
All right. I would like our guest to go first because I'm really hoping he steals your pick, John.
Fuck you.
Oh, okay. My pick of the week. The lock. LSU is going to beat Mississippi State. It's not a difficult game to predict. They're going to trounce them.
Wow.
I would like a rebuttal on that. My fourth pick was KJ Costello in the Heisman draft. LSU lost everybody, including coordinators. I think Mississippi State's going to win outright.
No way.
Mm-hmm. That's actually one of my picks next week,
Wow.
and it's going at like plus 400, so it is a huge upset. But KJ Costello with Mike Leach versus a team that no one's playing for anymore. All right, we'll see.
They win on name alone.
Oh,
They show up.
they just show up. Johnny's going with the show up bowl.
Oh, I'm going to plug it. Hey, remember the last time they tried to do that? They showed up on name alone.
Oh, here we go. You had to get him going with this shit again.
There you go. I love it. You brought him right back in. You fucking brought him right back into the UCF conversation.
Everything goes back to UCF with him.
And he's the one. We live in Florida. We live in Florida.
We live in Florida, but he's a UCF fan because he went there. All right, my stone cold lock of the week, of the century, of the universe. This is actually a top 25 game because I don't pick the little games. You know, I'm a real handicapper here. I'm really fantastic. Go check out Units Only Go Up every day on YouTube. I'm killing it. Yes, I can plug my own show. Fuck you guys. It's doing pretty well. Units only go up. Let's throw 15 units on this game. You know,
you don't have units.
Well, get a unit and throw it on there. Whatever your unit is, throw 15 of them on there. If it's $1, if it's $5, if it's 1,000, throw 15 units on the money line for a top 25 team. That was Johnny's first pick. I'm taking Army this week.
I like it.
Army over Cincinnati.
The upset.
Because Cincinnati is a trash team, and they're very overhyped. Oh, my God, they won. Yeah, they played Austin Peay. Okay? Everybody was all high on Louisville. They played Western Kentucky and got their dick kicked in. And they barely beat them. So my thinking is Army is just going to run that fucking triple option down their fucking throats. They're already 2-0. They're in the top 25. They should be a lot higher. So give me Army plus the money line. Give me the points, and we're going to win some money. I'm the source, so that's my stone cold lock.
Well, good. You actually put yourself out there. So you might join me in losing this week because I'm going to pick an upset as well. And I think it's a lock based on what I saw on the field yesterday. I wanted to pick Louisville-Pittsburgh, but honestly, both those teams, I don't honestly know who's going to show up.
Yeah, that's a toss. That's your toss your hat in the ring.
That's a toss-up.
Yeah.
I like Louisville. I thought Louisville, they can throw up points in a hurry, even when they're getting the crap kicked out of them. And so, to me, that'll keep them in the game. But I don't know. They might be so demoralized they may not show up next week. I have no idea. But I do know who's going to show up. I do know that one West Virginia Mountaineers team smells blood in the water against OK State for their Big 12 opener.
Oh, I love that pick.
They're going to fucking rock them.
And they're probably going to be the underdog in that game.
Well, I mean, right now, because the new stuff hasn't come out, OK State's still the 11th seed. So, I mean, or ranked 11th. So I don't see it. I think West Virginia is going to throw up 50 points on them. And based on what OK State showed us last week, they were lucky to break 10. So,
It's a great pick.
Thank you. We'll see.
I like all the picks, actually. I like mine the best, but
I would love to see Army wipe out Cincinnati. I think that would be fantastic. So
it's going to happen. Army's going to be a college football playoff this year.
I would love to see Ole Miss wipe the floor with Florida. That would be
wonderful. Oh, that would be so – You're talking to Rob. You're becoming Rob's best friend right now. Now Rob went to Miami, and Miami, Florida State. No, he hates Florida more than any other team because
There's
they
only one
refuse to
good
play.
thing. Yeah, in my opinion, there's only one good thing that ever came out of Florida, and that's my fiance.
I thought you were going to say Gatorade.
Not even.
No,
Power.
no, he drinks body armor because of it.
No, my fiance went to UF and famously met Tim Tebow and told him to get out of her way because he was in her way on the way to class. She didn't fucking care about football.
She doesn't know who he is.
Football. Oh, and that's the only reason why I could date someone from UF. So more than date at this point, but yeah, only good thing.
But John, that's hitting him right. He literally rooted for Florida State over Florida as a Miami fan.
Especially this year because Florida State sucks, and I want them to beat Florida just to make them.
Oh, here we go. JC's gonna chime in with some bullshit about how UCF is the best team in Florida. Watch.
I won't do it.
Hewitt.
We should have music queued up for him, like a song every time he does it. Boom.
He didn't pick UCF's fight song though. I don't believe.
Because they don't have a fight song. They've been playing football for 10 years and they won 3 championships apparently.
We'll just play All I Do Is Win, Win, Win behind every time he talks about UCF.
All I do is win, win, win versus Tulane. Anyway.
All right, guys. I think it's time to talk about our trivia question. So
I forgot.
Once again, the worst ever blowout between a number 1 and the AP polls and number 2 in the AP polls was Faddle 48-0.
All right, people guess.
Who are the 2 teams? So, Mr. Waxman.
I'm gonna say Miami is one of them.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go. I'm just naming an ACC. So I'm gonna go Clemson.
So that Miami got blown out by Clemson,
Or vice versa.
Yeah, you didn't say which team. You did. That's really good, actually.
It's not. I mean, we've definitely lost to Clemson by 48 points before, so and it'll probably happen again, maybe even this year. So that's a fair assessment. But no, we've never been ranked number 2 overall and played Clemson. So so that's why that was a good guess, but not quite there. So who wants to go next? I know both of you had your eyes lit up as soon as
JC, go. I want to go last.
John B, you go first because I feel good about my answer.
I know, that's why I wanted to hear it so that I could steal. You get it. I keep coming back to USF because they were number 2 and they got fucking demolished in 2007 when all those teams were getting beat. All those teams in 2007, there was like 11 number 1s that year. It was crazy. But since it was during a Miami game, hope he's not tricking me. I'm going to say Miami, Penn State in that bowl game.
Okay.
I know they played in a bowl game, and I know they got blown out.
So this was very specifically during the regular season, but also I don't believe it was 48-0. I believe that Penn State did throw up some numbers.
It was like 35-13 probably then. I knew it was a big.
Yeah, but not a bad guess. So, JC, Mr. Connolly.
If he's right, I'm going to be pissed.
I think the answer was Army Notre Dame.
Okay. And who won?
No. If you backhanded my team, I'm going to fucking kill you. Remember that.
Who won, JC?
I got a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Notre Dame. So it was 48-0 at Yankee Stadium. And Army destroyed number 2 Notre Dame. Now, it was a good time. It was a good time to be in the Army. It was 1945. So,
Fuck you, dude. It was World War II. Like, come on. All of our guys were playing. That doesn't count.
No, Army went 9-0 that year and beat, there weren't that many teams, but they beat number 9 Michigan. They beat number 19 Duke, who was ranked somehow back in 1945. They beat, let's see, beat Wake Forest, got 54-0, they beat Penn. So I don't even think that's Penn State. I think they beat Penn. They beat Notre Dame, who was number 2 at the time, and then a couple weeks later they beat Navy, who was
I'm calling collusion. You guys back channeled me. You found this out. Because how the fuck would he get that right?
I have no idea. I don't know how he knew it was Notre Dame and Army, but didn't know who won. That's the part that, like, that's why I asked.
That's why I think you guys did it on purpose. Because you didn't think. No, this is collusion.
Okay, Ruxin, take it easy.
Collusion.
Well, I'll give you the heads up. There was I want to say this was a trivia question in a game last night.
Well, yeah, Miami game.
Sorry, I was working and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I retained it. I didn't write it down. I didn't think he was going to ask it, but I retained it. That's how I got to college.
There you go. Damn, I didn't even know you were watching the Miami game. Good for you, JC. I thought you were watching Wake Forest blow it the whole time. Because that was not early in the game. That was like near halftime, I think, when they threw that question out there and came back to it. And I heard that, and I'm like, oh my God, Army and Notre Dame during a Miami game. I gotta fucking talk about it tomorrow. That's beautiful. But yeah, I totally threw shade at your team, Johnny. Sorry.
Cool. Johnny, thanks for coming on and having a little bit of fun with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Good to see you.
Yeah, and guys, everybody go out. Johnny's got some new music coming out.
Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna. Probably in a couple weeks. I gotta call my publisher today and figure out when he's gonna put it out.
It's under John Moodie probably on iTunes, Spotify.
Yeah. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever.
If you're watching this and you love the title song, it's John Moodie. He's fantastic, guys. Check him out. He's awesome. He's been our boy forever, and his music is fantastic. And I actually love that we reconnected. Actually, now we can talk fucking sports and music and EPL soccer. I mean, if you and Rob got into an EPL soccer talk, John, you guys would have your own show in the day because Rob nerds the fuck out.
Well, that's what's about to happen. Chelsea-Liverpool is about to start in 2 minutes.
Well, I already know who's going to win because I already have a lot of money on that game.
Let's go.
I put all my money on Liverpool because when Chelsea wins, again, see, hedging. Either Chelsea wins or my bank account wins.
Every time Liverpool loses, an angel gets its wings, John. Don't you want an angel to get its wings?
See, Rob, I told you were going to like him.
Absolutely. I fucking love it. Awesome, dude. Well, a pleasure to meet you, John. I've obviously heard your music for a while. I'm very excited about your new song and just coming on the show and chilling with us. So
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. JC, you got to sign off? Anything?
Nah, man. Everybody have a good day. Beautiful.
He's gonna go kill black bears now.
I'm going to go find some black bear.
Good luck, and maybe you'll find one this week.
Our resident redneck.
Yep. JC Trivia Master.
Whoa.
And I guess we should do a shout out to everyone. So I will go ahead and do my shout out. My wonderful fiance who graduated from UF also did all the graphics. She's got her own graphic design company, Comic Dino Design. Follow her on Twitter. We're going to have her page up in the next week or so you can check out all of her good shit. But she made all the graphics for us, obviously, as a favor to me and I guess to Johnny. So check her out. And then I know you guys also have your own sponsors. So
I'd just like to thank everybody at Pro Sports Extra. Thank you for the show, guys. The Heater app, go track your bets on the Heater app because they're pretty fantastic. Thanks again for Johnny for letting us use his song, which we absolutely love in the beginning of the title. And, everybody go like, subscribe, share around, help the team out. We'll get better. And, I appreciate it. And go Irish.
And JC.
Yeah,
he's going to shout out Black Bears.
Outback Buckstack, bringing American-made products to the outdoor industry. So go outbackbuckshack.com.
You all have a great Sunday. And, yeah, John, anytime you want to come back on, man, it's been a pleasure. So
thanks for having me. I'd love to do it again whenever you guys are ready. I just woke up.
Rob, stop drinking.
I'm still drunk, all right? I don't
you have a fucking problem. Looking at the script that I wrote that I forgot.